Hello friends, I'm sure you know the famous fairy tale about the little mermaid who sacrificed her beautiful singing voice for a chance to become human and win the love of a handsome prince. But have you ever heard the story of the Princess Mermaid? No, not the mermaid princess. The princess who was also a mermaid. This is a different story. It's a story of betrayal, revenge, greed, and a whole lot of backstabbing. Let me tell you that in this story, our protagonist isn't some helpless little mermaid who needs a prince to rescue her. She's a strong-willed, cunning, and determined mermaid princess. In the very first scene of the movie, we see the evil sea witch Ursula plotting with her eels. Moray eels, really, to steal the throne from King Triton. I don't know why she wants to be a queen. Like she already rules the ocean with an iron fist. What would being a queen on land get her? In any case, she concocts a plan to usurp the king and decides that the best way to do it is by marrying his daughter. That's right, the good old-fashioned arranged marriage. She goes to Triton to propose this alliance, but he's having none of it. He tells her that she's too evil and devious to be trusted, and that he will never allow her to marry his darling little girl. Ariel, you gotta admit though, Ursula's plan is actually pretty clever. I mean, stealing someone's throne by marrying their kid. Very sneaky. So while Triton is out, she sneaks into Ariel's room and uses her magic to transform the poor girl into a mermaid. Now, if you're wondering how exactly does one turn into a mermaid, well, there's no explanation, actually. I mean, we see Ursula waving her magic wand, and then poof, Ariel is a mermaid, and then a few seconds later, she's back in her human form. How does that even make sense? Well, it doesn't, and that's why I'm not a Disney animator. Anyway, after confirming that her plan has worked, and that Ariel has indeed turned into a mermaid, Ursula departs, cackling all the way. As soon as Triton comes back home, he sees Ariel lying on the floor in her mermaid form and freaks out. He doesn't know what has happened to her, and when he asks her what's wrong, she can only cry and shake her head because she cannot speak in her mermaid form. She tries to explain to him that it's Ursula's fault, but he doesn't believe her. Instead, he takes her to the royal healer, who, after examining Ariel, tells them that the only way to reverse the spell is for her to kiss the handsome Prince Eric before sunrise. If she fails to do so, she will remain a mermaid forever. Now, this is where things get really confusing. On one hand, Ariel doesn't want to be a mermaid anymore. She wants to live on land with Prince Eric. So why did she agree to Ursula's deal in the first place? Did she just want to look like a mermaid, or did she want to become one? I mean, the thing is, she didn't even try to look like Eric. I mean, come on. She could have at least made herself look like a human instead of a mermaid. Just saying. Anyway, after hearing the royal healer's diagnosis, Ariel and Triton rush to Eric's castle. But they are too late. The sun has risen, and Ariel is now a mermaid. Triton is devastated, but Ariel stops him from doing anything rash and tells him that she still has time to find the prince. Maybe she had remembered some other detail about the curse. Who knows? Now, over on Ursula's side, she's having a blast. Being a mermaid has given her the ability to breathe underwater, and she's using that to her advantage. She goes to King Triton's court and accuses him of kidnapping Ariel and turning her into a mermaid. The evidence, she says, is right here in the Trident Room. All the mermaids and mermen go to the Trident Room, but they find no evidence of foul play. Ursula pretends to be shocked, but in reality, she's just happy that her plan is working perfectly. Meanwhile, Ariel is having a much harder time adjusting to life as a mermaid. She can't talk, she can't walk, and she has to live in water. Plus, everyone thinks she's Ursula's prisoner. Things are looking really grim for her. But wait, it's time for a musical number. The entire kingdom is assembled in the courtyard, and they are all blaming Triton for Ariel's disappearance. They accuse him of throwing her into the sea, but he denies it vehemently. Suddenly, Ariel can't take it anymore. She swims up to the surface and sings a beautiful song about how she's innocent and that she loves Prince Eric. Everyone's eyes turn towards her. For a moment, Triton is overjoyed to see his daughter, but quickly composes himself and bows his head sadly. The people still think he's guilty, and he doesn't want to make things worse. Suddenly, Ursula steps forward and claims that she saw Triton turn Ariel into a mermaid. Ariel gets pissed and calls her a liar, but Ursula silences her with a wave of her magic wand. Now, Ursula is just making things up as she goes along. I mean, she literally turns to the audience and sings about how she's going to trick everyone and marry Triton. I mean, if anyone was going to find out about her plan, it was going to be the audience. So yeah, writing-wise, this movie wasn't exactly a masterpiece. Anyway, now that she has proof that Ariel is a mermaid, Ursula declares that she should be punished and demands that Triton hand her over, but the king refuses. This makes Ursula furious, and she unleashes her eels to kill him, but they end up getting zapped by the trident instead. After that, she runs away, and now Triton is forced to flee as well. He knows that Ursula is too powerful for him to defeat. He also knows that Ariel is trapped in her mermaid form, and that Eric will never find her because she's living underwater. He feels helpless. Back at the palace, Ariel finds a friendly crab named Sebastian and asks him for help. She tells him that she needs to reach Eric before sunrise, so that she can kiss him and break the spell. Sebastian agrees and forms an alliance with Flounder, a little blue fish who Ariel befriended when she was a human. Together, they come up with a plan to lure Prince Eric into the sea. Sebastian goes to the shore and plays a melancholic tune on his shell. This attracts Eric, who is sad because he can't remember who this mysterious melody is for. Sebastian keeps playing until Eric wades into the water. Then Ariel surfaces and tries to communicate with him, but he doesn't understand what she's saying. Sebastian steps in and explains that Ariel is mute and that she needs Eric's help. She's been cursed by the evil sea witch, Ursula. When Eric hears this, he immediately wants to help her. He picks her up and carries her in his arms. And for a moment, it looks like their eyes meet. But then Ariel closes her eyes and hides her face in Eric's shirt. Awkward. Meanwhile, Ursula is watching them from afar and fumes with rage. She realizes that her plan has failed and that she must act fast. She turns herself into a beautiful woman and approaches Eric. She asks him if he can help her because she saw a poor mermaid in distress. Eric agrees without hesitation, but when he turns to leave, Ursula holds his hand and stops him. She seduces him for a moment, but then disappears when Eric looks away. Confused, Eric follows her and soon finds himself in Ursula's lair. There, he sees Ariel trapped in a cave. He rushes to free her, but Ursula appears again and reveals her true form. Now, the battle between good and evil is on. Ursula attacks Eric with her magic, but he fights back with his sword. She tries to trick him, but he sees through it. Finally, she transforms into a giant octopus and lunges at him. But then she gets zapped by Ariel's trident. She shrinks back into her human form and collapses. She tries to escape, but Ariel pulls her closer and whispers something in her ear. Then Ursula explodes, and the spell is broken. Now that Ursula is gone, Ariel and Eric finally get a chance to talk. She tells him about her life in the sea, and he listens patiently. Then they share a romantic kiss, and Ariel is transformed back into a human. Everyone is happy. The mermaids and mermen welcome Eric as one of their own. and he becomes ruler of both the sea and the land. The end.